Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Ann Mitten, CEO of the Board of Certification, and I want to personally thank you for taking the time to be a part of this important conversation about the future of your continuing certification. CPC Renewal, powered by Pathfinder, represents an important evolution in how we support lifelong learning, professional growth, and continued competence across the profession. We know change can bring questions, and today's session is designed to provide clarity, guidance, and support as you move forward in your renewal journey. We appreciate your engagement, your feedback, and your commitment to the profession and the patients you serve every day. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to BOC President Brian Conway. Brian?
Yeah, thanks, Ann. My name's Brian Conway. I'm president of the Board of Certification. I'm excited to welcome you as we continue the conversation around continuing professional certification, CPC Renewal, powered by Pathfinder. CPC Renewal was built with athletic trainers in mind to create a more flexible, personalized approach to continuing certification that supports your professional growth while fitting into the realities of your career and life. So, as segment 2 is now underway, today's session is designed to help you provide clarity around the requirements, next steps, and how to continue progressing confidently through Pathfinder. What makes CPC different is that it's designed by athletic trainers for athletic trainers. It focuses on flexibility, meaningful learning, and professional development that evolves alongside your career, while continuing to support the patients and communities we serve. Certification should not only recognize where you've been, but also help prepare you for where you're going next. Today, BOC staff members Shannon Fleming and Heather Collins will walk through CPC requirements, demonstrate how to navigate Pathfinder, compare CPC renewal and legacy renewal pathways, and answer your questions live. Whether you've already engaged in Pathfinder or are just getting started, we're here to support you and help you stay on track for renewal. Thank you again for being here. With that, I'll hand it over to Shannon.
Thank you, Brian. All right. So we're going to just begin with a few housekeeping items. First, we will use Slido at a few points throughout the presentation. So be sure to join on your phones, and the QR code is on this screen, and it will also be on subsequent screens moving forward. Next, we just want to note that we have no conflicts of interest to disclose. And today's objectives for you all are to be able to describe the structure and key components of the CPC renewal program, including the role of Pathfinder platform, summarize progress and insights gained from feedback and outcomes from early users and pilot participants that have informed the implementation of CPC. You should be able to explain how CPC supports individualized goal setting, reflective practice, and ongoing professional development for athletic trainers, and also identify ways you all can engage with CPC to enhance clinical practice and integrate evidence-based learning into your renewal process. So today we will provide a look at the opportunities ahead available to you all through this new renewal path. We'll introduce you to Pathfinder, the key component of CPC renewal, and let you hear what athletic trainers who have used Pathfinder had to say. We'll discuss the evolution of continuing certification and finally summarize the CPC renewal requirements. We should have time at the end for questions, so please submit your questions using the question and answer feature in Zoom. All right, we will get started. So here it is, a new path to continue your certification, officially launched in February. This path empowers you not just to count your CEUs, but make those CEUs count for you. Here are your options for renewal period ending January 31st, 2028. The table compares the new CPC renewal path with the traditional legacy renewal you all know today. The primary requirement difference between the two options is that CPC renewal, you must earn 40 CEUs. Additionally, you participate in the Pathfinder platform periodically throughout the renewal period by completing specific criteria. And in the legacy renewal path, 50 CEUs are required, consistent with the traditional requirements. The overall benefit of CPC renewal are an enhanced focus on learning over time through an individualized approach, empowering you all to select learning activities that fit your needs, a decreased number of CEUs required overall, and more flexible options available that can be customized to your knowledge and practice setting. Pathfinder helps ATs focus on connecting with their CE rather than just collecting CEUs. So you all were automatically enrolled in CPC Renewal. And while ATs certified prior to this year are encouraged to remain in CPC Renewal, you can choose to opt out of CPC Renewal and into the traditional Legacy Renewal. Athletic trainers certified this year in 2026 and beyond will be required to complete the CPC renewal path and will not be able to opt out. To stay in CPC renewal, completion of specific Pathfinder activities are required to be completed throughout the renewal period. They are such as completing 15 challenge questions in each segment, and those segments are approximately 3 months long. Pathfinder requires that at least 7 out of the 8 segments total be completed over the course of the 2-year renewal period. We'll dive in deeper into Pathfinder in just a moment. And if an AT doesn't meet the MCQ segments requirement, they'll be automatically moved or defaulted to the legacy renewal path. So whether you choose to move forward with CPC or you prefer to remain with legacy renewal, really the power to decide is in your hands. We want your continuing professional certification to reflect your practice as well as your preferences. So CPC again is powered by Pathfinder. Pathfinder is built for ATs and designed to support professional growth over time through real-world experiences. Okay, so here's that first Slido we're going to do. So go ahead and get your phones out and scan the QR code with your phone to participate. So the first question is, how confident are you in understanding the new CPC renewal format? Okay. Oops, I want to go back. Sorry. All right, that's a pretty good number. I like the fact that we've got some fairly confident folks here. So fantastic. Thank you for participating. Okay, so again, Pathfinder was built around a simple idea that you should be in control of your professional growth. Because no two ATs are alike, Pathfinder is flexible by design, empowering you to define your own direction, shape learning around what matters most in your practice, and stretch you professionally over time. Pathfinder creates an active, personalized experience that adapts as goals evolve, supporting learning that is intentional, meaningful, and sustainable across the renewal period. So let's just get a few questions that we commonly get out of the way. The first one is, how much does it cost? There is no additional cost to participate in CPC renewal. The annual fee that you are all used to is the same whether you're in legacy or whether you're in CPC renewal. And then what the other question that we commonly get is, what does this mean for continuing education? So continuing education, as you know, it is not changing. The activities that you do on reporting period basis, such as maybe going to conferences, such as NATA or a district meeting or a state association meeting, or attending online courses, those all still play a major role in CPC renewal. You still have 40 CEUs that you have to do. And you still need 10 CEUs in category A. So the categories are not changing. We still have categories A through D that still explain what types of continuing education count towards your certification renewal. What Pathfinder does is help you be more intentional about selecting those continuing education programs. So it just helps you be a little bit more deliberate in the CE programs that you choose. Okay, so this is a snapshot of the Pathfinder dashboard. It's what you view when you access your BOC profile. It is a place to set goals, professional goals, engage with evidence-based challenge questions, customize a learning path on a personal timeline, and reflect on professional development progress. Any information you enter into Pathfinder is confidential and will only be used in aggregate to support you all and inform the ongoing development of CPC. The initial 3 areas of Pathfinder are my goals, my challenge questions, and my learning path. At completion of the full Pathfinder experience, a 4th area called My Reflection prompts you to evaluate challenges, acquired skills, and the impact of your learning over the renewal period. We developed a quick reference resource for Pathfinder that we encourage you to review. It's linked here in the QR code on the screen. And in addition, there's a video called the Quick Start Guide within Pathfinder to get AT started. We will continue to add guides and tips throughout the year in small bites and at the points of need as the program progresses. So because that quick start guide is so effective, we are going to take some time and play that video for you. It's pretty short.
Welcome to Pathfinder. We'll show you how to get started, set your initial goals, complete your challenge questions, and track your progress. From your BOC profile dashboard, you'll see a My Goals section. Here, you'll create at least 2 goals during your renewal period. To begin, complete the short SMART questionnaire. Then click on Manage Goals. Pathfinder will walk you through each step and help you write a clear, focused goal that connects to your professional growth. Save your goals, and you can come back to update them anytime. To get started with My Challenge questions, select Start to open your current segment. Each segment includes 15 multiple choice questions. There's no score, no grade. They're just there to help you see your strengths and find areas you may want to learn next. Each question has a 5-minute timer. It can't be paused or saved for later, so be sure you're ready before you begin. Answer the question, mark whether you feel confident about your answer, and then click Check Answer. You'll instantly see whether you got it right, along with a short explanation. If you miss a question, you'll see the correct answer along with both correct and incorrect rationales, so you can understand the reasoning. Below the explanation, you'll also see 2 journal articles related to the question. You can open them now or favorite them to your reading list in the My Learning Path. Pathfinder also uses artificial intelligence to suggest 2 possible learning opportunities related to the question. If one looks helpful, you can make it a favorite and add it to My Learning Path. If it isn't a good fit, select the thumbs down icon. This helps improve future recommendations. You'll complete 1 set of 15 challenge questions during each 3-month segment. Your MCQ dashboard shows your progress at a glance. You'll see how many segments you've finished, what's still open, when the segment's open, and any relevant due dates. Check your MCQ dashboard regularly to stay on track throughout the renewal period. Everyone automatically gets one grace segment, and your MCQ dashboard will show how it applies to your schedule. If you have questions or run into an issue, we are here to support you. Just email us at renewal@bocatc.org.
Okay. So now that we've seen how it works, let's go a little bit deeper into the main areas of Pathfinder. We'll begin with my goals. As part of the CPC renewal, ATs complete a SMART questionnaire and set at least 2 goals. It's not busy work. Writing goals is what turns CPC from a requirement into something useful. It helps you to reflect on real-world practice and decide what actually matters to you right now. Goals give directions. They help shape personal learning around your specific practice. They stretch you into areas where you want to grow and track progress over time. In Pathfinder, your goals become the anchor for everything that follows, making professional development intentional, personalized, and meaningful. To further describe the My Challenge questions, or MCQs, it includes 15 evidence-based questions at the beginning of each segment. And as we mentioned previously, a segment is 3 months long. These items are developed by athletic trainers who are subject matter experts and reflect the current practice analysis. Questions are meant to engage you with practice information. They vary in level of difficulty and are meant to challenge you. You can complete as many or as few questions in one sitting as you want during the segment using a laptop or mobile device. Answering all questions each segment is required for Pathfinder completion. Challenge questions are designed around what we know works best for professional learning: regular, engaging reflection over time. Instead of a single event, engagement with MCQs is spaced across the renewal period, supporting deeper understanding, awareness of practice patterns, and long-term growth. You use challenge questions to reflect on your clinical decision-making. They are not graded. Instead, they provide you immediate feedback, so you can see not just if you are right or wrong, but what that response means for your learning. The first segment ended April 30th, and the second segment is now open. But as of May 8th, nearly 20,000 athletic trainers have completed the first segment and chose to continue with CPC Renewal. And it's not too late. You can still begin within segment 2. So the challenge questions also provide some meaningful feedback. In addition to the immediate insights you receive after each question, over time, your learning awareness dashboard helps highlight areas of strength and potential gaps, supporting more informed, data-driven decisions about your professional development and the continuing education choices. Responses to questions are mapped out on an interactive dashboard in the My Challenge Questions section. Your submitted responses are then plotted on awareness zones based on whether you answered correctly, as well as your level of confidence. So red means risk, yellow means growing awareness, blue shows active learning, and green means mastery. You can click on the squares to view the challenge questions you completed. For example, if you answer a question incorrectly, but you marked that you were confident that your answer was correct, it will plot this question in the red zone or risk zone, meaning this could be a potential blind spot for you. Another example is if you answer a question correct and you mark that you are not confident that your answer is correct, it will plot this question in the blue or learning zone, meaning this may be an unknown strength, things that you may know but are not yet confident. This provides a real-time visual of your strengths and areas for improvement, as well as your areas of development. It's professional development that's responsive and self-directed. To reiterate, the challenge question component of Pathfinder is not graded. It's not a graded test. It is purely a personal learning tool to guide the selection of your learning activities. Pathfinder also includes a My Learning Path that helps you stay on course toward your continuing professional certification goals. You track goals and learning opportunities, search for learning opportunities, and set reminders. My Learning Path is a personal planning space that helps ATs be intentional and focused on your professional development. Since the launch, we have added a few items to My Learning Path. The Access Resource Library button provides you with access to ProQuest Nursing and Allied Health Database. You can use this tool to quickly find credible, clinically relevant articles and guidance on injury prevention, evaluation, treatment, and rehab to support evidence-based care for your patients. Also included is a How It Works button, which provides a short video that guides you through the features of My Learning Path. We'll go ahead and take a look at that now.
My Learning Path is used to organize and plan learning activities identified throughout the renewal cycle. It brings together favorited items, planned activities, and goals, all in one place. Learning activities recommended during My Challenge questions can be saved for later. Select the star on a recommended activity to add it to My Favorites. You can access My Favorites in two ways. First, anytime you add an activity, it's automatically saved to your favorites, and you'll see it right away in the pop-up. You can also open My Favorites from your Pathfinder dashboard. Select the My Learning Path tile, choose Manage Learning Path, and then select My Favorites. Saved activities stay in My Favorites until they are added to the learning path. To place an activity on the timeline of My Learning Path, select Add to Learning Path. During the renewal cycle, you'll need to add at least 2 learning activities to your My Learning Path timeline. You can also add your own learning activity plans or personal milestones. The Learning Path displays planned activities alongside your goals. Each activity on the Learning Path includes an Actions menu. You can track your progress by marking activities complete or set email reminders for yourself, or add the activity to a personal calendar, such as Outlook or Google Calendar, to help you plan your learning around your existing commitments. To expand your learning plans, activities can be searched and added directly from the activity directory. Think of My Learning Path as a flexible planning tool. You can add, move, or change activities at any time to organize your learning across the renewal cycle. Nothing on the timeline locks you in. Saving an activity doesn't commit you to attend, enroll, or pay. Your CE reporting to the BOC is handled separately and does not need to match your timeline. If you have questions or run into an issue, we are here to support you. Just email us at renewal@bocatc.org.
Okay. At the end of the cycle, athletic trainers complete a short 5-question reflection. This component prompts you to pause and consider what you've learned, how it applied to your practice, and what adjustments you want to make going forward. These questions are required. It's quick yet powerful. This helps you all close that loop, turning disconnected CE into a coherent learning journey. Reflection transforms activity into insight, and that's essential for lifelong learning. So now that you've seen how Pathfinder works, how confident are you in understanding the new CPC renewal? Okay. Still seeing a good amount in the heart eyes, I guess we'll call it. Very good. All right, we'll move on. So now I will hand it over to Heather to talk about the Pathfinder pilot that we did in 2024.
Thank you, Shannon. I'm excited to share the feedback that we received from ATs who participated in that year-long pilot. So data clearly showed that the Pathfinder components are working as intended. Over 83% of participating ATs agreed that the SMART questionnaire, called My Goals, helped them to set meaningful objectives and reflect on their progress. Over 93% said that My Challenge questions, when completed on an ongoing basis during each 3-month segment, improved their awareness of strengths, blind spots, and areas for growth, essentially enhancing both self-awareness and practice knowledge. And more than 82% found that the recommended learning activities identified through personalized results of the My Challenge questions to be helpful in their development. These responses show that Pathfinder isn't just functional, it's effective, and it helps ATs reflect, plan, and learn more intentionally. This tool is both mobile friendly and highly usable and can be easily integrated into daily work, no matter what a practice setting may be, into different schedules and experience levels. 92% said that the platform was easy to use, and that's extremely important when rolling out a new system. Nearly 95% of athletic trainers gave the platform's technical functionality a positive rating. And of course, there were areas for improvement noted, and the BOC has been and continues to implement Pathfinder enhancements. Overall, the key benefits for ATs are clear. ATs choose their own development path, and there will be fewer CEUs required overall. Pathfinder provides targeted ways to stay competent, supported by relevant real-world learning, which is aligned with professional standards and individual goals. And the ultimate focus is on enhancing, of course, patient outcomes. So, as we wrapped up the Pathfinder pilot, we gathered feedback from hundreds of participants and asked a few of them to share their experiences in a video, which we'd like to share now.
The Pathfinder Pilot Research Project was a groundbreaking initiative designed to test the Pathfinder technology platform that can guide professional development and promotes flexible, individualized, and ongoing learning. For more than a decade, the BOC has been working to develop a more impactful approach to continuing education for ATs. Continuing professional certification, research across healthcare disciplines supports the notion that longitudinal learning and self-reflection contribute to better lifelong learning outcomes. The Pathfinder pilot aimed to explore this evolving approach. More than 3,000 ATs participated in the year-long pilot, representing diverse practice settings and experience levels. The results of the Pathfinder pilot indicate strong support for this innovative approach, with ATs from different perspectives finding value in its structure and reflective learning methodology. Here is what ATs had to say.
I really enjoyed being part of the Pathfinder pilot. I believe that this is a great start to help guide continuing education and aid athletic trainers to stay up to date and identify and fill gaps in their knowledge. Pathfinder is a great tool because you can start it by going through a general survey to kind of identify your weaknesses or gaps you have in your knowledge, and then it helps you develop goals in order to kind of what goal do you have to improve your knowledge. I could take that knowledge and utilize it in my patient care as well.
I enjoyed doing the Pathfinder challenge. I liked having multiple opportunities to challenge my knowledge and identify knowledge gaps. This gave me a clear picture of what I know, what I needed to learn, and what I may need to brush up on. Pathfinder breaks down the domains that may help others focus and concentrate on a particular area where they may realize that they're lacking knowledge.
Overall, I had a really great experience, and it really allowed me to dive further into the athletic training practice. I currently only practice PRN, so it was nice to have these little reminders of what we do and why we do it. Pathfinder was a really great experience. As I previously mentioned, I'm only working PRN, so it makes it easier to stay in touch with current practices and just making sure I'm staying up to date on things that might be applicable in the field for me.
I think this is a great tool to have in the athletic trainer bag. It allows the opportunity for us as professionals to have a guided format of goals that we want to accomplish. You know, we sometimes get caught up in learning and have no real objective in the sense of, oh, this is what I want to learn. I want to learn this. It sounds so complex, but it's so easy to use. I mean, it's simple with the setup, things you ask that basically one step leads to a next step, to the next step. And with the Pathfinder, it allows us as professionals to go, what may I need to brush up on? You know, what do I need to get new research on? Because as we know, the field of athletic training, is ever evolving. For me, I like the overall idea. It should be a tool that allows us as professionals to help advance not only our skills, but our profession.
The Pathfinder pilot has laid a strong foundation for the future of athletic training and professional development. With continued refinement and engagement, CPC will reshape the way ATs approach lifelong learning, ensuring they remain at the forefront of the field. The Pathfinder.
Perfect. So that was the Pathfinder pilot, and now we're going to skip forward to today and review the progress of CPC as it stands now. As Shannon mentioned, we just finished segment 1, and early feedback is encouraging. Many ATs reported that it was quick and easy to learn as well, a positive experience, and that it took less than 30 minutes to complete segment 1. No significant barriers were reported. And then we're in segment 2. It just started, as Shannon said, and there's still time to engage with and complete it until July 31st. If you are just starting to engage with Pathfinder after tonight, segment 1 will count as your grace segment, and you will be required to complete the remaining 7 segments to stay enrolled in Pathfinder through the full certification renewal period. So let's take another look at the CPC renewal requirements tonight. All ATs are enrolled in CPC Renewal. While ATs certified before 2026 are encouraged to remain in CPC Renewal, they can choose to opt out of CPC Renewal and into the traditional way into Legacy Renewal. ATs certified in 2026 and beyond will be required to complete the CPC Renewal path and will not be able to opt out. We want your continuing professional certification paths to reflect your practice and your preferences. So to stay in CPC Renewal, completion of Pathfinder is required. Pathfinder includes ongoing requirements to be completed throughout the renewal period, such as developing at least 2 goals, completing 15 My Challenge questions in each 3-month segment, and adding at least 2 activities to your learning path. Again, Pathfinder requires that at least 7 of the 8 segments are completed over the course of the 2-year period. This is the renewal path for ATs certified prior to 2026, and the requirements for ATs certified in 2026 are different, slightly different, because there's a smaller renewal period for them. So now that we've reviewed that, let's jump into some Slido questions. So get out your phones, and the first one was, must I meet the goals I enter in Pathfinder? True or false? Go ahead and mark your answers. Must you meet the goals in Pathfinder? Shall we take a look? Good job. Good job. We're there. No, you do not need to meet the goals. You are required to write them. Your goals may be changing and updating, and so we want it to be an active tool for you. You do not need to complete them, just write them. All right, let's do another one. Another question. For my challenge questions, how many grace segments do you receive? None, one, two, or three? All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Everybody, good job. Good job. 90% are saying one. That is correct whether you were certified before or after 2026. That's the same. Everybody gets one grace period per renewal period. Next question. Are my challenge questions graded? Are my challenge questions graded? Good job. That's correct. No, MCQs are not scored, not graded. There is no passing, failing, and they do not determine your competence as an AT. Each question stands as a new or emerging practice topic and helps you reflect on opportunities for growth or potential risks. That's all. All right, next question. True or false? I must add 2 activities to my learning path, and while Pathfinder encourages me to complete those activities, it is not required. True or false? What do y'all think? Good job. Correct. You do not need to enroll, pay for, or complete the activities on your My Learning Path. Just use it as a planning tool. It's there to help you find the needles in the haystack, the activities that are most relevant for you, and you can choose to use them if you like or not. Next question. If you were certified prior to this year, what is required to complete CPC Renewal powered by Pathfinder? Which of the following lists the correct requirements? Excellent. Excellent. Good job. 40 CEUs, 2 goals, 15 My Challenge questions each segment with 1 grace segment. Add 2 activities to your learning path and complete the brief My Reflection questions. That's correct. You guys are doing a great job. All right. I'm going to turn the time back over to Shannon. Thank you for joining me for that quiz.
Well, thank you. And Alex Wood, good job. You got all of them right. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks, Heather. So you can scan the QR code to access our frequently asked questions resource document for additional information on CPC and Pathfinder. But just as a reminder, CPC Renewal is designed to support your individual growth while ensuring ongoing excellence. The new process is straightforward, supported by the tools within Pathfinder, and grounded in what you already do best, learning from your own practice. We would also just like to remind you that certification is a two-way street. The BOC is committed to providing you with the tools and resources to support your growth and help you be the best ATs. That only works when you all can also engage with the information and materials we share via email, articles, social media, and so on. And so we are willing to, and that you are willing to explore this new approach. We get it, right? Trying something new takes some courage, a little bit of humility, but it does begin with a single choice. The choice to maybe step outside of your comfort zone and trust your ability to grow and to learn. One choice can open unexpected possibilities and perhaps inspire others to do the same. And so really, we hope that you choose to try something new here. All right. So that does conclude our time in presenting. And so we are going to open it up to questions. And so Sharon has been collecting all of the questions that have been coming in. And so I will see if Sharon has any questions for us.
We have plenty of questions, Shannon, and
Perfect.
I will start with a question we received a few times in the chat. So I will summarize. How does this impact my state license if I need 50 CEUs to renew my license?
Great question. And so um, that may be the case, right? You may require to have 50 CEUs for whatever state. We will provide documentation that completion of Pathfinder is equivalent to 10 CEUs. Now, that being said, you still need to check with your state board to see if they're going to accept those 10 CEUs. But we will be providing at the end documentation that the learning that happens within Pathfinder is equivalent to 10 CEUs. So we just want to make sure that you all are aware of that. And we have been communicating with the states, and they have been informed about CPC, and we'll continue to educate them on CPC renewal.
Next question. Can I finish Pathfinder segments early? What if I want to do all the questions at one time? It seems a bit rigid to not be able to do it all at once. Can you explain the rationale behind multiple segments?
You want to take this one, Heather?
Sure, yeah. We designed Pathfinder and the My Challenge questions to be flexible and brief and short, but learning and longitudinal learning is the basis for this model. And longitudinal learning is a lot like strength training, and the more that you can get out of it, sorry, I'm not speaking very well. You get more out of it when it's practiced more regularly and not crammed at the end. And as many teachers are here on the call will probably attest to this too, you'll find greater steps and greater achievement with consistent engagement with the content. And we've been very respectful of time and tried to make it very flexible, but we're also trying to engage longitudinal learning principles. So,
Thanks, Heather.
mhm.
Is there a deadline of when ATs can no longer opt out of Pathfinder?
No, you can opt out of CPC renewal at any time. You just need to be aware that if you do so, you need those 10 extra CEUs. So even if you were to opt out the last day, you'll still need to make sure that you have 50 CEUs due.
Great. Will CPC Pathfinder be required after the reporting period, which ends January 2028?
Yeah, the short answer to that is we don't know. We are going to take the time to collect the data as we did after this segment, and we will do after every segment, and we'll provide that data to the board, and the board's going to make that evidence-based decision as to whether or not it continues to be optional or if we, go to a more required situation.
Thanks, Shannon. Next question. I get a lot, if not all, of my CEUs from the NATA convention. Does that still work with Pathfinder?
Absolutely. Again, the continuing education itself is not changing. You still need to have that, and it still plays a very vital role in your learning. And so we encourage you to attend those types of programs. So just like with anything, so let's say that this NATA convention in Philly is worth 20. I don't know what it's worth, but those 20 can go towards your 40 that you have required if you stay within CPC renewal. And you can put that learning activity on your timeline. So it can also serve as meeting the two activities that you have to put on your learning path. You can find that in the activity directory and add that or pin that to your learning path.
Great. Next, we have a bit of a system technical question. I seem to have trouble finding the button to get to the CPC Pathfinder when I was in the BOC. I ultimately found it, but has this been improved, or was I the only one that had that problem?
I'm not sure if they're talking about when they were first getting into their profile and looking for the Pathfinder button. I do know that there were some, to be technical, some JavaScript issues, and I think that those have been solved. But there can be certain people in certain browsers that maybe that's a little glitchy, but I don't think we've had too many, too much feedback lately on that. So hopefully that is resolved now.
Great. Next question. I've completed segment 1. The questions didn't seem to fit my practice setting. How can the questions be adapted for someone in my population?
Shannon, may I take
that,
that?
Heather?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the MCQ questions are written by your peers, by fellow ATs, and we have many ATs that come from different practice settings to help us with that process. And we do keep an eye on just sharing clinical practice information that we hope can be interesting and informative in a general way. And so my advice would be to keep working in the MCQ questions. There will be questions that are directly applicable to you. And then I challenge you to find ways to absorb the information and learn from it and continue to keep the information in with you so that you are more informed, more agile, more flexible.
Yeah, and I would add too that, athletic training goes across the practice analysis, which is all 5 domains. And so we as a certification organization need to show to the public that you are competent in all of those areas, right? So that you are we can say to the public, this person is competent to practice in any setting. We don't certify by setting. We certify based on the practice analysis. So keep that in mind. But we also are looking into the future in ways that maybe someday you'll be able to kind of create your own assessment that may be based on body parts or systems, practice settings. So all of those things are kind of in the works, if you will, but it's going to be a while until we get a bank of questions that large that we'll be able to do that. So, but it's very exciting to think about.
Great. We've received some questions from APs that have missed segment 1, so I will summarize. I missed segment 1. What should I do next?
Yeah, I would say jump into segment 2 and start on those challenge questions. Maybe look at setting some goals, at least walk through the learning path, but for sure get in and do those challenge questions, and then you can stay on track. So you can do the remaining segments in the reporting period and still be on track.
A related question is for those people who don't have the legacy option, those certified after 2026, what happens to them when they miss segments?
Yeah, so we do have a remediation plan. It is outlined in the handbook for recertification or renewal. And so I would encourage you to take a look at that section of the handbook. But essentially, what it is, making up the things that you have missed. And so you will have the opportunity to do all of the segments.
Next comment and question. I like this new CPC track. I just want to make sure I'm doing everything right. How can I be more confident that I'm not messing something up?
I would say really pay attention to your dashboard. It's going to tell you that each of the cards, the My Learning or My Goals, the My Challenge questions, the My Learning Path, they will tell you where you are in each of those. So when you hit your 2 goals, that bar is going to go all the way to the right. And same with the challenge questions. It'll show you, okay, I've completed 1 of 8 segments or 0 of 8 segments. Same with the My Challenge or the My Learning Path. I've added 2 learning activities, and that bar will tell you when you've completed that. So pay attention to your dashboards and you'll be good.
Great.
And the reminders. We will be sending many, many reminders. So if you get a reminder from us, chances are you haven't done something. So
Next question. If I review previously answered questions, can I also see the suggested learning for that question?
Heather, I think you can you?
Correct, they can. Yep, if you open up a question, you'll see the recommended learning and the recommended readings, and you can review those. You can favorite them either when you're going through the MCQs or after as you're on your learning awareness dashboard.
Wonderful. Someone is asking about the videos that we have shown in this webinar. Are these videos available within pathways to reference back to? Or where can I find them?
Right. So both the first video that we showed, which is the quick start that goes over the goals and challenge questions, that is in Pathfinder, as well as the video on the Pathfinder, the My Learning Path. Both of those are embedded within Pathfinder. The pilot video, I think it's on our website. But if it's not, we will make sure that it is. So, but both of those are in Pathfinder.
Great. So I have a 2-part question here about students taking the BOC exam in May, June of 26. First question, when will they need to start completing the CPC process?
Sure. So when someone is certified, the date that they are certified is when they can start accumulating or going to continuing education programs or professional development activities. They will officially begin and be able to do their challenge questions starting in 2027. So those will open up for them in February of 2027, and they will have the full 4 segments, and they will have to do 3 of the 4 segments. They do have some sample challenge questions that they can see beforehand. And those are labeled under the My Challenge questions. It's labeled as sample questions.
Great. So the second part of that question is also related to students. What tools would you recommend to program directors who are trying to teach students how to use CPC?
You want to take this one, Heather?
Yes, we're going to be sharing a PowerPoint very similar to this and some materials for program directors that they can use and redistribute and share. We would also encourage them to go to the CPC website at the BOC website, and share the information there, the videos, the posted information, the requirements, etc. The webinars that are posted there, all the resources we're going to be putting together and will be available.
Wonderful. So we can set goals and add learning activities, but we don't have to use the learning activities as the reported CEUs, question mark. Is that done separately in the normal process?
Yes. So you still have to report your CEUs on your reporting form. And we are working on a new feature in the My Learning Path where that little drop down where you could delete or complete or whatever, we're looking to add to reporting form or record CEUs. I'm not sure what it will say, but and then it will go directly to your reporting form, and you can make sure that it gets there. But right now, it is two separate things. And to answer the first part of that question is no, you do not have to complete your goals that you create or the learning activities you put on your learning path. We certainly encourage those things, but it is not required.
Okay, I think we have time for a couple more questions. First one was related to pilot data. How many ATs participated in the pilot?
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I believe there were around 1,400 that completed the pilot.
There was, yes, about 1,400 completed, and if I remember right, there were about 3,400 that had registered for it, but many of them just didn't even start the pilot. But I believe it was 1,400 that actually finished from start to finish. So,
Okay, the last question, is there a place to see which segments you have completed in full as you move forward so you can track if you missed one?
yes, if you go to your My Challenge question dashboard and click on the Start button, that is your My Challenge question dashboard that has every segment, and it will tell you the progress of every segment.
Wonderful. We did not get to all of the questions in the time that we had. However, we will be adding these to our FAQs and be able to share those.
Perfect. All right. That brings us to a close. We've answered all the questions. So we just want to thank you for hanging in there with us tonight, and we hope that you choose to stay in CPC Renewal and give it a try. All right. Thank you, everybody.